Welcome to the Traction Reaction Podcast. I'm Steve Zautke. Joining us, Alexander Rossi, driver of the Andretti Autosport, Napa Auto Nation Honda. Welcome to the show. Appreciate you joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
The Rev Group Grand Prix at Road America coming up this weekend. Are you ready to give the field a smackdown like you did a couple years ago?
That's the plan. Yeah, we need it. We're due for sure. You know, it's been a rough rough 18 months, I'd say. But yeah, you know, we're thrilled to be back at Road America. We love going to that track. We're happy to have fans back. We can't wait to see everyone's face again. And then on top of that, we're happy to welcome the first responders and essential workers to the track as well.
And it seems like you guys are close. It seems like you guys are showing speed, and it just situations are coming up like last weekend and that. Does that make you hungrier? Does that how does the team feel at this point?
You know, it's people. A lot of people like to draw comparisons of this year to last year, and really it's not the case because of what you just said. You know, I think that the whole organization has improved in a lot of ways. I think the cars much quicker, much more competitive, and we've just had some scenarios, let's say, play out that really haven't gone our way. But you know, I think the whole team is working as a more cohesive unit this year than they were last year, and there's a lot of positives to take from that. It's just we got to keep putting our best foot forward, making sure the car's fast, and eventually the stars will line up, and we can move on from all this and put it behind us.
We saw Marcus Ericsson win his first IndyCar last week, and you, of course, have extensive experience in Europe and that. Does having an F1 and a European racing background, does that help you in IndyCar?
Sure. I mean, I think that, you know, you have the guys that are successful in IndyCar for the most part, you know, they've got a lot of experience. You know, even if you look at Alex below, who's, you know, right there for the championship lead, you know, he's raced a huge variety of cars for a lot of years. You know, it's only his second year in IndyCar, but it's kind of irrelevant. You look at Roman Grosjean, who's considered a rookie, but he's raced in F1 for the past decade. And you know, I think that there's a lot of guys that have a lot of talent and a lot of experience in this series. And I think that that's a positive thing. You know, it's definitely not going to hurt anything. You know, the racing and these style of cars is very different to Formula One. So there is some adaptation to be had, but ultimately everyone at this point in their career is good enough to get the most out of the cars and the equipment that they have. And yeah, as you mentioned, Marcus won, and that was at the time our seventh different winner in 7 races, which is pretty crazy to think about.
I mean, last week it was hot, and that red flag period, was that the hottest you ever were in a race car?
It was pretty brutal, man. Like when you're obviously, you know, the ambient conditions, temperature and humidity were really high. It's a street course, so it's physical. The aero screen, you don't have a lot of air coming in, but when you're driving, you have enough airflow, so you can kind of survive. But when you stop and you have the engine and the brake heat and the tire heat and the sun there, like it was very uncomfortable. Like I really didn't like it, but I think everyone was in the same boat, and obviously we were very fortunate to not have the problem that Will Power had. If you want to talk about bad luck, that's pretty crazy.
That certainly is. And this kind of surprised me. There's been some talk, you know, some chatter since that race about maybe just having the halo on the street and road courses in the future. Is that something that's on the table, you think?
I don't know if it's on the table. I don't know that it's a bad idea. You know, I think that there's obviously, like everything in life, there's a cause and effect to things that you do. And the screen is and was designed with driver safety in mind, and that is 100% the case. And I think we've already seen instances where it has head protection is critically important. The halo also provides head protection. So, you know, it's 2 different ways to slice the cake. You know, I think that where we're different than F1 is the ovals, for sure. And so the screen has a lot of merit on the ovals. It has a lot of merit on road and street courses as well. It's just, is there more problems than not being caused by it? I'm not the one to answer that. I think the series has done a really good job with giving us cooling options. You know, Andretti Autosport was one of the first teams to actually have like a pseudo air conditioner cool suit to run in the car. We also have a vent that's on the top of the windscreen that ducts air in. All of those things are making it manageable now, whereas before it was a little unmanageable. So I think we're at a place where, you know, we're good. But obviously, you know, you get experiences like that and you're like, man, it would be nice just to have a halo. But ultimately it's a serious decision. And we're all very grateful to them for putting driver safety at the forefront of their thoughts.
I was looking at your career because in case I forget something, and I had totally forgotten this myself. I forgot that you had driven the DeltaWing. And of all the cars and different, I mean, how unique and how different was that compared, like when you drove earlier this year and you've driven that Acura in the past in IMSA? How different was that car?
I mean, it was very weird and wrong for the most part. Like, I don't really know that I have much positives to say about it. Like, it was very good on tires, and it was very fast in a straight line. But everything else about it was pretty radical. The biggest thing for me that was really hard to get used to is because the front tires were so small, you ran the brake bias at almost like 80% to the rear, whereas on a normal race car, you're between like 54 and 60% to the front. So that was a huge change. And then it didn't really turn or stop or go very well. But yeah. It was a good idea. Ultimately, didn't really pan
it. We had, of course, this weekend you had Felix Rosenqvist escape injury, and I'm using quote marks with that. But I know I'm not sure if you've encountered a hit as hard as that. But can you explain to the people listening how hard does that hurt on the next following couple days?
It's very it is an unbelievable pain that you have when you didn't break anything. Like I've had a pretty big hit. I think Felix's was between 70 and 80 G's. I had one in Phoenix that was like 65, and I was fine. But like the internal like just pain and soreness that you had for the next week was pretty crazy. Because it honestly feels like a bomb goes off behind you, like it, or in Felix's case, in front of you. Like it's a really violent impact, and it's amazing how strong the cars are and how good of a job the cars do to protect us in those situations. And to come out of it just being sore is ultimately a first world problem. But yeah, I mean, Felix is probably in a lot of pain right now, and getting back in the car in Road America is going to be painful. But, you know, once you put the helmet on and leave pit lane, you kind of forget about the rest of it and just go out and try and win.
Yeah, I remember Robbie Gordon coming to Milwaukee after Gateway, and he hit the wall in turn one, and it was the ugliest bruise from his hip all the way down to his ankle in that kart race back in the day. And yeah, I mean, I don't think, you know, what I always got a kick out of this being involved, or, you know, you kind of hear stuff that other fans may hear. Guys are hurting, but they escaped injury. But yeah, it's quite the hit, and I don't think the fans can really appreciate how much that can hurt. I guess the hard hitting question of the day is: have you tried a Wisconsin brat at Road America?
I have not. Maybe
Really?
This is the year.
Yeah.
No. I've tried the cheese curds.
Okay, that was my follow-up. Yep.
Not a fan.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I do like sausages. I do like hot dogs. So maybe this year's the year.
Okay, yeah, because we had Alex Pillow on last week, and he did not, and he seemed kind of eager to find one. I said, well, they can be a little heavy on the stomach, so maybe after the race might be the ticket. So
yeah, or like Thursday. We get up Thursday, and we're not track till like Friday afternoon. So maybe Thursday night, I'll give it a go.
That works. All right, Alex, appreciate you. All the best. Luck this weekend, and I really do. I think you are the favorite going into this weekend, and I think the fans would appreciate another SmackDown like you did a couple years ago.
Yes, sir. That's the plan. I appreciate you. Thanks so much.
Alexander Rossi on the Traction Reaction podcast. Thanks a lot. We'll see you this week.